Here's a story about a time I was totally out of control. Ready for this?
I'm ready for it. Hope they are.
How many times have you heard it?
At least 25 times.
Some years back, I was driving north in California Highway 101. I like to drive fast, and I'd often tuck in behind a trucker who was going faster than the limit. If there was a highway patrol officer hiding up ahead, he'd tag the trucker first. However, on this particular day, there weren't any trucks. Then I saw the blonde and the Beemer. At that time, a significant percentage of my day was spent fantasizing and spinning elaborate sexual scenarios. I'd see a woman in the post office, and I'd go try and find a woman who looked like her on a porn site. Then I think you know what I'd do next. On this day, when I saw that BMW convertible, my fantasy spinner began to go full tilt. I started fixating on that long blonde hair and that car. Wow! It was a shiny new red, top-of-the-line BMW. She must be beautiful, I said to myself, and have money. I started imagining how beautiful she was and how large her breasts were. Of course, they were exactly the size and shape that I liked best. I tried to stop thinking about her, but I was out of control. I tried to think about a work project. I turned on the radio. Nothing worked. I was completely out of control. So I just gave in. I turned off the car radio just so I could totally focus on the fantasy about the blonde and the Beemer. My hand even went into my pocket, and I wasn't looking for my Swiss Army knife. So the blonde and the Beemer may not be how you get triggered and feel out of control. It may be one of those situations James mentioned, or it could be something else. The important point is that you can notice when you're out of control and remember the steps to take to get back in control. But I didn't know that not many years ago when I was on the highway tailing the blonde and the Beemer. Finally, after driving behind the blonde and the BMW for about 40 miles, I saw the blinker go on. And that was my signal too. I hurriedly gunned the engine and pulled alongside the red BMW, looking to my right, expecting to see this beautiful woman with an amazing body. What I saw instead was an oily-looking, acne-scarred face of a sleazy old, middle-aged man who happened to have long blonde hair.
And when George, it's okay, thanks for sharing. So when George saw that blonde hair flying in the wind, he started a story in his mind. That story turned out to be obviously false. But this is a good lesson in how we often use stories or have stories that they're just not true. We'll talk more about that later. The thing to notice now, though, is how, similar to what happened with George and the imagined blonde in the BMW, is your addict will use imaginary stories to pull you into acting out, pull you into once again watching porn.